This is the weather forecast video for Saturday, February 18th, 2012. Let's take a look at the satellite image from last evening. You see a storm system over the southern plains and Gulf Coast that'll be producing some heavy amounts of precip there and some severe weather possible later today, and another storm over the northwest producing some wintry weather up in that area. Watch warning map from just before midnight. Winter storm watches from Kentucky eastward into the Virginias. Flooding and flash flooding issues from Texas eastward along the Gulf Coast, and some winter weather issues over the Pacific Northwest. QPF chart, precipitation over the next 5 days through Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. Some heavy amounts of precip along the Gulf Coast where those flood watches and flash flood watches are, and also across the Northwest with some precip around here. This will be early next week, however. So let's take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run. At 6 p.m. this evening, you can see a piece of energy over Texas, another over the Northwest, another over New England. So we'll have some issues down south with severe weather and heavy rain. A little bit of lake effect over New York State, some winter weather issues over the Northwest, and here will be high, dry, and in the 30s to low 40s. Same for Sunday, maybe a skosh warmer with winds beginning to switch around to the south. So some upper 30s to maybe some lower to middle 40s on Sunday, with precip to our east and to our west. But Monday, here it comes. This will be mainly in the form of some rain, may switch to some wintry mix during the overnight hours as the storm system moves off to the north and east. By Tuesday, it is now up into the upper Great Lakes, upper Michigan, and into Canada. A little bit cooler, but not much so. It'll still be in the upper 30s to mainly 40s across the state. Same goes for Wednesday, although there could be a sprinkle or a flurry or wintry mix possible across the state, but it's looking doubtful. But Thursday it looks a little bit better as the system comes down from the west and northwest, bringing some slightly cooler conditions and some maybe rain and wintry mix once again. And we head to Friday. That moves off and temperatures begin to cool back into at least the 30s with a bit of rain, snow, flurries, drizzle, all sorts of mess. A week from today, on the 25th, that energy pulls out into the Northeast and Canadian Maritimes, and we need to look at that energy off the Pacific Northwest coast as it dives southward, with low pressure developing over Nebraska, southerly winds. This is the infamous storm we've been talking about for days, and it's just on the edge of this period. We move ahead one day. This is the 26th. We have one piece of energy moving across the area that will be producing some rain or snow across the state. Another over the Four Corners area. And that piece will be moving eastward and bringing some more snow, but high pressure will be just to our north if this pans out, and that'll bring northeast winds, and that usually brings dry air and usually squashes snow. A day later, on the 27th, we have a trough axis just to our west, an upper level feature over the Four Corners, and with that will bring the snow to an end here, but we need to look at that system over the Four Corners area a few days later as it begins to pull up to the northeast. And a few days later, this is on the 1st of March, you can see the snow begins to break out once more with rain and showers and thunderstorms across the southern plains. And at the end of the forecast, on March 4th, another piece of energy comes down with a trough over the west, a ridge over the east. We're in the middle with southwest winds aloft, and that means a storm and a low pressure over South Dakota. That means warm air will be in the warm side. That means rain. And we could even see isolated thunder if this pans out, but it's still way out there. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one tomorrow.